Hey guys!
Welcome to another episode of
Girls Glasses God podcast. Hey, but I don't like this new introduction.
Why not?
I feel like he's giving struggle podcast. Like,
no, it's giving energy. It's giving enthusiasm.
Aggression.
It's giving happy. It's giving excited. It's giving everything it's supposed to give. Clock it. I feel like Clock It is dying though. Like the
Trends past. What was the last one that they were? Not the last one, but like one that was famous that time was Demure. It was
yeah,
so demure.
It's so classy. It's so demure.
You see how I do this? So this is demure. So you see how we are on this podcast.
Very demure.
Very demure.
Very classy.
Very classy.
What's the third one?
I don't even remember.
There were three things that lady said.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Oh, good. Try to
she has catched her bag. She has catched her bag. Or
which I'm looking for something that I would do or say that I'll just cash out like $10 million. And even if it goes away, that's fine. Like if the trend goes away at the end of it, that's fine. But like for everywhere that I click on, like if I can just find something that I can like trademark or like I have the patent or IP for it in that way, and obviously, then I'll just be cashing out from it.
I know you, and you're not somebody that uses what they call it now. Like you don't like negative. You won't do something negative. But the question I was going to ask was that I saw a post recently, or I saw something online recently. I don't know if you know this like gossip website TMZ. So people are talking about how is it possible that they always get like all this celebrity news before like, and it's always like correct news and everything. So somebody was now in the comment section of the video, and she was now like that she sold one news to TMZ for $60,000. So now imagine if you now have you're in custody of news.
I'm not gonna
that
sell
can get $100,000 or something. Will you sell it?
It depends. Am I ruining lives in the process?
So even if you're not ruining lives, but it's somebody's privacy.
No, if you're not ruining your life. It's like I think
I just finished giving you benefit of the doubt that you.
No, what's the impact of my news? Like if I'm not ruining your life, or if.
But it's like you are giving people information they don't want to share. Like that the person in charge. So just like you now, you cannot do it. you yourself, you cannot do it.
Why?
You I know.
Why?
You that you don't even like. You are very private.
Yeah, I don't like sharing my information.
You don't like sharing your information.
Yeah.
So how will you not be sharing
somebody else's information?
You won't do it. But if you had the chance and it's
good.
100,000, it sounds good. But you know what they said was that they never actually used the news at the end of the day. But it's not like you will know. But she had already signed it now. So
life is not all about money. Life is about impact.
And so the impact of breaking the news.
I feel like if it's something that someone wants to keep private, the fact that it's private means that if I share it, it's going to have a negative impact anyway.
Of course.
So even
if it's good news, like in the sense of
then it's going to have impact as well, because sometimes people. Even me sometimes, like I don't share everything with everybody because I just want to like keep it to myself or keep it to like people that are close to me. And if I now share it out, it's like, oh, people would want to like message you or even reach out to you. Then billing will start. Then like there are so many things. Like the downhill of that, the reason why the person kept it private in the first place is for a reason.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're ruining it at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever make a lifestyle of like gossiping other people, make a lifestyle out of gossiping other people.
And you even want to make profit out of that as well.
Yeah, because I don't know how people sleep at night. I'm like, oh, you're ruining life and you're sleeping
very well.
And then the news will come out and then like the news will come out and then you see the news and then you like see the impact of the news and you're like, you don't like, you're just good, like you're just like, okay, cool.
Actually, because a lot of times all those kind of news is always negative. It's always like, oh,
of course. That's what I'm saying, that
you got somebody, you won't travel very far.
They won't give you 100K for good news. They won't give you 100K for good news.
Well, depends on.
They will most likely not give you, even if they give you the 100K for the good news, the way the good news will be projected on the internet is not going to be. I'm telling you,
they will twist it and turn it to something
because
else.
Gossip sells, bad news sells.
Everybody likes gist.
Yeah,
everybody likes gist.
Bad news sell more than good news.
Yeah,
so they will pay you more for like bad news than they will good news.
Very true.
So
that's an aside. Welcome to the podcast.
Another thing that I was going to say when we're talking about this thing is I've seen a trend recently, and it's like people making reaction videos of other people's lifestyle. I feel like I am tired.
Wait, what does that how does that work?
So like maybe somebody is living their life and saying something. People now make videos of everything, of like a part of their life. So let's say maybe you and your husband now, like maybe you are doing something in your house and then you now post it. Somebody now who now has another opinion of what you did, they will now carry mic and then put your video
small down
when you're not done talking. They will now say with they will think that they are like, they look like they are wise. Some people, some of the things maybe yes.
I know the setup you're talking about now that you explained. You know the one that I hate the most, the one that they'll be like this. They'll not be looking at their phone like they're looking at the video. You'll not be seeing them like this.
Yeah.
Or the ones I hate is when the video is below them. They'll not be looking at you in the camera like.
Yeah.
You're not like, as when he's talking, they're not like wait a minute, let them say, like,
when the person is now done talking, they will now tell you their own opinion of what the person said, what the person did. I am tired. I'm like, you don't need to have a reaction for everything. You don't need to have an opinion about everything. You don't need to. But again,
you also don't need to share your opinion
on everything to the world.
You can keep it to yourself. Some things are meant to be inside conversations. Like keep it in your group chat, like in your coded, like your original G's group chat. Like
everything now is social media.
People just share their thoughts, and I'm like, this should be something that you keep inside. Like it's not everything you send, it's not everything you say in this age of like in this digital age where a lot of things are immortalized. Like you cannot delete things off the internet.
The internet never forgets.
It never forgets. So like, in
fact, I'm even more scared of posting anything private on social media. I post a lot, though not like a lot, but I post on my WhatsApp, but I'm not posting like my life. If you get what I mean, like of course, I'm posting like things, maybe my thoughts and whatever on my WhatsApp because I can control the number of people that sit on my WhatsApp. Sometimes I post on Instagram as well, like Instagram stories. Maybe like I'm on the beach and I want to post my fine pictures. I'll post on stories, but like I'm now scared of posting anything that 10, 15 years later, when the world of now is different from the world of then, people then they judge you from the lens of the then for the now. It's scary.
And I think maybe somehow I think just personally I don't post a lot. Like I hardly ever post, and I think somewhere at the back of my mind it has always been, so even me, I don't like things. I don't comment. Like people, I didn't realize that it was a meeting when I realized that when I see people's comments on Instagram, I don't comment on people. Like I would like watch your video. The most I can do if I will like it, like I'll put a like on it. But I don't like videos. I don't like, especially on Twitter. I don't like.
We create content and we want people to engage. But you are here publicly saying I don't comment. What message are you preaching to the people that are watching this video and we want them to also engage?
Where I'm going to with it is that certain things that I feel like in a way can be misconstrued and people can change the narrative of what you are doing. Because I feel like, so they are setting like fandoms and things like that, and they are setting jokes that, it's a fandom joke. If you understand it, you can laugh. But you, just like what you're saying now, 3 years down the line, somebody now looks at it and it's not like
they will misinterpret it.
And they will misinterpret it. And even yourself at that point,
I'm using the lens of 2025
it's not
to judge the tweet of 2002.
It doesn't make sense. Especially when you don't have that same track. And again, sometimes it's like things have changed here. My sister Toby sent me, I think she sent me Facebook. Like Facebook, when was the last time you opened Facebook? She sent me like a Facebook post.
Maybe it was something stupid.
When we also, she not screenshots it.
I feel like I should just go and delete everything on my Facebook at this point.
She screenshots it. Then I think maybe she said, maybe I commented something. She now responded to it and I said, get away or something like that. She now edited her comment.
Oh, really?
Apparently you can. She now edited her comment.
Is there no timestamp to that?
It doesn't show edited on, I guess it doesn't show on Facebook. So it now looks as if I said something. She now said something innocent. I was like, get away.
No, that's crazy. No, that's scary.
So, again, and that's another scary conversation for.
But let's not discourage you though, because I've always also been of the opinion of share your faith more this year, encourage people more this year. Like I've been for everybody that I've had the conversation with have kind of said that, and what has been coming to my mind recently is that laborers are few and the harvest is plenty. So one way or the other, social media has its pros and cons. Social media, we say that the internet never forgets and everything, but that's also the fastest way to reach people, to influence people as well.
Lots of people.
So on the other side as well, and I was also having the same conversation this morning. Like on the other side, it's like use social media wisely. And I was saying that I want to get to the point where the basis of what I post on social media is the word of God, because that's the only thing that cannot change. Like my opinion would change in the next 10 years. Like whatever I say now might change in the next 10 years. But if what I'm saying now is solely and purely on the word of God, we know that that is one thing that can never change. So if you open it, the people that said it in 1925 and the people that are saying it now, as long as it's on that word, is the foundation that cannot be shaken. That one would not change, right? So that's the point that I want to get to. I want to influence other people, and the way to do that is through social media. What we're doing right now is through social media as well. So it's just that what you give your voice to on social, not just social media, like even in real life, it says a lot about you, you know. And the same conversation I was having this morning is like, we all are influencers. We are all influencing each other, whether we like it or not. People that are posting rubbish on social media, they are also influencing people, whether they like it or not. So there still have to be, we still need voices of correction, voices of reasoning. We still need those voices, because people will still hear those voices as well. And if those voices are quiet because social media never forgets, then we'll just not have other people being influenced by reasoning. So it's just, it's a balance, right? I'm not saying, I mean, social media is good. It's just me. I'm like, you can't be the one, like you can't know everything. I can't see you on every post on Instagram. There's
you don't
some
have
people
to interact.
There are some people that Insta blog go, TMZ, the shade room,
you are there everywhere. Gossip gist. What does it even say about you? And because the algorithm for Instagram is in such a way that the first set of comments you see are people you know.
In fact, what you like now, the way Instagram is, what you like, I will see. So if I repost something, there's high possibility of the people following me to see what I've reposted, even if they're not following the person at all. So you just see one random post from someone that you're not following, and then you now see like a little circle of, I'll just see your picture, and then I'll see that you reposted it, and that's the only reason why I'm seeing it. Even just like, so that's why I'm saying that the world has gone deeper than just I just innocently liked. No, you are influencing, because like the people I'm following, I'm trusting that they have sense. My Instagram account is private because I don't just want anybody to follow me. I want to also control the kind of environment that I have. So I'm trusting that the people I follow at least largely have sense, so that the kind of content that I see, the kind of things I get on my feed also has sense.
That adds value to you.
Exactly. So if I have someone that is constantly like maybe liking like nonsense videos or whatever or things, so like
nothing is hitting these days.
You see it, and then I'll see your name there, and I'm like,
it's like, oh, how did you? Or like I see your comment. It just reminds me of something that happened at work. Not even something that happened at work. Somebody was just commenting. The person was telling me about how one of the partners was talking to him, and he was saying, oh, like, you know how we have clients, right? And now it's on LinkedIn, that the client, that he just noticed that the client was liking scantily clad women. So he was not talking to the person that, why is this person like, oh, this person is
LinkedIn is even worse.
Do you get? I'm like, is he on LinkedIn? Of all things. So that's the people don't even
worse.
know. But LinkedIn tells you, like, once you
now this person liked this person commented on this,
and you have business contacts, people that you're doing day-to-day work with, and
I don't even mess with LinkedIn. I don't even do like, the only thing I like, of course I share like maybe job opportunities to people that I know that are looking for jobs. And if there is also like a general job opportunity, I'll like it, so that people that are following me will see it and everything. But or like if there's a win, my friend just got promoted, whatever, of course I'll comment. And again, I want to say that, like, I know you mentioned that you don't comment or you don't like. The other side of that as well is that comment.
So I was going to like change what I said, but I'm saying I don't comment because I don't want to leave. And again, if it's not like a picture or a post, or like, oh, you posted something like your birthday or something, like I like all those ones. What I'm specific talking about is like written things, like on Twitter, for example. Like I feel like it can get very controversial, and I'm just very careful. And another thing I was going to say, based on like what you were saying about how you want your social media to always be rooted in God. Like this morning we were talking about like fulfilling the Great Commission. I was actually the one that preached it. And I was looking through it, and I was just like, see, at the end of the day, the disciples could only be called Christian because they were Christ-like. They literally were acting like Christ. People saw them and were like, oh, you're almost like Jesus. Like there's no difference between you and Jesus, right? So at the end of the day, that's the kind of lifestyle, that's the kind of way we have to live. One of the things that I mentioned was that, in the Great Commission, Jesus tells you to go and make disciples. And I was giving an analogy of how, you as a professional now, you are X amount of years of experience. If somebody that is in secondary school, for example, tells you, oh, they want to be like you, and you know that this is the path that you took, and the person is telling you, oh, they want to go a different path, you say, no, that's not the right way to do. So that's the only way you can make disciples. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot teach people what you don't know. You cannot be a lawyer, for example. You have to know the law before you can teach others to know how to know the law, things like that. So at the end of the day, you can only give what you have. You can only, what they say, out of the abundance of the heart, things like
the
that.
mouth speaketh.
So you have to, at the end of the day, you have to curate the things that you are giving out, because people are also reading you. Your life is also like you can also evangelize with your life, beyond the words that you say, and not to say that you will not speak with your words. You still have to speak with your words. You still have to tell people about Jesus. People are also looking at your life. So that person now, for example, that is liking scantily clad women, if he has a wife, or if I know that, oh, you are my business colleague, I know that you have a wife, I'm like, so what kind of relationship do you have with your wife if on LinkedIn you are liking almost naked women's pictures? It's going to be very weird. I'll just look at you like, maybe you're not, that kind of thing. That's the same thing with how the world will view you as a Christian. Like what kind of life, or what kind of things are you teaching people through your lifestyle and through the things that you do?
Totally agree. And there are two things I want to say on that. The first thing is, it brings me back to another trend that I've been seeing these days. It's people slapping Christian at the back of everything. So now there is Christian BBL. Now there is Christian walk. They will say Christian run, Christian walk. There is Christian club. There is Christian. What was that one that I saw? I think I sent something.
Christian wigs. I think there was Christian wigs. There's Christian makeup. There's Christian.
There's Christian everything now. I feel like people said, oh, this is being a Christian is trending now. So because there's like a niche. There's Christian TikTok. There's there are all these things.
Christian talk.
Which is in a sense, because it's like I'm two-sided about it. There's a side of, in this world where there's everything, where we have like a lot of things going on, if you have like a place, for instance, sometimes I remember when I wanted to buy when I was checking for dresses when I was in school for a particular event, and then you go on all of these websites and you start checking all those dresses, like you're just like, okay, but if there's a safe space where that, oh, there's this collection that that if I go to, I can easily get a dress from here. That's like a very, very good example. If I am in Atlanta, for instance, and I want to meet other believers, and I know that, oh, if I go to this particular place, I can check. If I go to this place, I can meet other people that are like-minded. It helps me to quickly sift through the lot of things that are happening. That's fine, but like now, that's also the other side of it. Now is that we are just now slapping Christian at the back of everything, and which, at the end of the day, if we go back to the Bible, it was people that saw those guys in, I think it was Antioch, that said that they called them Christians because they were Christ-like. People saw them. And I have to confirm that. People saw them.
Yeah.
Let me actually confirm that, because people saw them and they were like, you guys are Christian because you are acting like Christ.
Yeah.
They were not slapping Christian at the back of their names.
And one thing that it brings to mind, or one thing that I think the reason why people do things like this, I feel like in a way it's a marketing tactic.
It is.
Number one. And then two, there's also like a guilt, like they're also playing like a psychological kind of marketing, in the sense of, oh, you're a Christian, you're not going to buy the Christian clothes. Oh, you are buying from secular brands, but you don't want to buy from me, the Christian brand. So, oh, you are buying wigs, or you are buying this, or you are buying that. You are buying it from everybody in the world. Oh, come and buy it from your sister or your brother in Christ too.
Exactly.
Like nothing is stopping me from buying it from my sister or brother in Christ. But let me identify you as one who has Christian values, as one who has, your business ethics is also Christ-like. Because it's very easy to call yourself Christian, what are we saying? Oh, Christian clothes, Christian shirts. But you are paying your workers below minimum wage. They can't even live, they can't eat, they can't take care of their families. Like, how are you Christ-like, So it's not about slapping a name or slapping Christian in front of anything that you're doing and just selling the idea of Christianity to other Christians, because Christians will want to support, Christians will want to say, oh, because again, there's this part in the Bible that says we are in the world but we are not of the world.
Yep.
So I feel like people are trying to capitalize on the fact that, oh, in the world, because at the end of the day you are in the world but you are not of the world. You still have to, I don't know who made this chair. He might have been a secular person, but is it because he's a secular person?
You want to
it doesn't make sense. So because you now make your own chair, you say, oh, this is Christian chair. But people that have sat on your Christian chair, you did not put quality control. Your Christian chair is breaking people's back. I will not say, I should go and sit on your Christian chair.
I'm like, leave Christian at the let us see you and then say that, oh, this one is a Christian. Now, Acts 11:26, it says when he found out, and this was Barnabas looking for Saul. So it says when Barnabas found Saul at that time, he brought him back to Antioch. Both of them stayed there with the church for a full year, teaching large crowds of people. It was at Antioch that the believers were first called Christians. The believers did not call themselves. People saw them and they were like, these guys are different. They are set apart. So it was there that they now said, this guy, they gave them the name Christian because of the kind of life that they were living. Why not just be a Christian that make wigs? Why do you have to slap wig in front of your wig making whatever? If God has given you a vision, tell people the vision of what God, and the person that does this so well as well, I think I've been saying this a lot about this person, is Cardini. I really, really like how she was very intentional about telling her story, giving a vision. This is exactly how this started. This is exactly what God told me to. And then she shared a lot of things. I was watching on one of her interviews about how even the names of that she gave her collection was like Holy Spirit inspired. And then she was telling stories about how someone will come into the store and they want to pick this particular one, but then at the end of the day they'll go to this particular one, and then she's like, oh, when they now like come and tell her, then she will now be like, oh, your story, like what you're buying is like in correlation with like, look, you don't have to put a look, like you don't have to like say, oh, this, da. I mean, if you want to, it's fine, but please make sure that your life is preaching that. There's nothing called Christian BBL. If you're changing your body, you're changing your body. Leave all of that out of it. That does not have anything to do with your character. It does not have anything to do with how you live. It does not have anything to do with... At the end of the day,
it's you. It's like, what is your walk with God?
You.
What is your relationship with God?
Exactly.
Like, there's no like putting you down because, oh, you did this or you didn't do this. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, is your heart right with God? That's the most important thing. Is your heart right with God? So don't cover up. I feel like it's when you are feeling like a sense of, inadequacy or a sense of shame or overcompensating, and you're not like, God told me. God might have told you, right? Like, but don't try and like now, before anybody tells you, God told me, like, it's like you're overcompensating for the fact that even you yourself, you are not sure. But if God told you to do something, like, you won't have to do too much stress. You will just be like, you are assured and like you are settled in the fact that God told me to do this thing. Like, I will not be.
Yeah, you can share your story. In fact, like, your story is part of part of it. Like, share your story of how, and we will know at the end of the day, God told you, but your lifestyle is not jelly, like.
And I think people also forget that there is also a place of like waiting, a lot of times, and because of how social media is now, people just feel like the minute you start something, you want to blow immediately. So a lot of times they use that storytelling aspect. Like, storytelling is very good for like telling people your vision, your business, your marketing, all of that. But people just a lot of times want to, they just want to launch. Let's say you want to launch a product now. You're already telling us, oh, this, and it's like, you don't even have any connection. We don't have any connection to you. We don't know you. But a lot of people that you see, maybe somebody is like in your mind, they are just blowing now, and you now go back. You're like, this person has been doing things, this person has been. So I remember when Maverick Music, when it was like very popular in Nigeria and it came out, like before it was very, very mainstream. Like, I was listening to Maverick. Don't you tell you, I started listening maybe 1 year after they came out, but I was listening to Maverick like very early on. So later when it was now everywhere, and Chandler Moore was one of like the most popular artists among them, and people were now looking at him, and there was one interview he gave where he was like, he had been doing this for a very long time, and then people are not like, oh, how did you just get into the limelight? It's like, I didn't just get into the limelight. Like, I've been building. These are like building blocks, and now people are now seeing me. So a lot of times too, when you are, God has given you a vision, you are already working with it, you are doing everything you need to do. At a particular time, when it's time, God will expose you to more people. God will expose you, and it's now people that will now be saying, oh, I want to know your story. I want to find out your story. Then people will now be like, that's true. I didn't even realize that so and so brand owned by Ebun, like, oh, it's a Christian brand, or people will now, know more about it. So there's always a way, there's always a path that God will take you through. You don't have to do it to check a box, like, oh, I want you to know that this is a Christian.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are doing it to check a box, and that's the difference between people that are actually inspired and people that are just doing it because they feel like, oh, now that I'm a Christian, everything that I do, I need to add Christian to it before people can know. I think that's where the error is. It's not until you add Christian to it. Like, if you add Christian to it and we don't see the fruit of the Spirit, like we don't see love in you, we don't see joy, and I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, like nobody is perfect, right? But people would at least know what you stand for, right? So it's better for people to know and be, influenced and encouraged by what you stand for than for you to do the opposite, where you just like put Christian on it, but every other thing about your life does not matter. But you feel like because you're coming on social media to tell us, oh, this is Christian, and then we'll take your word for it and be like, oh yeah, let's go and buy this wig. Instead, no, bro, like if your wig is
let's buy this not because it's Christian.
Yeah, no. Like if your life doesn't speak it, even if your product is not even quality safe, forget. Like even if they buy it from you now because let's just do it. The second time,
Nobody will buy from
you because they're like, let's not lie, this thing is not
that Christian chair that broke.
And you're embarrassing us more because they're like, this one is not giving. So please, add excellence, add all those things to your name.
Excellence, I think that's the biggest one, because if you think about, and I'm going back to like what I studied and what I shared this morning, it's, when you think about, and I'm going to read the verse, I'm also going to follow in line with you and read that verse. But one of the things that really stood out to me when Jesus was talking was the fact that I think a lot of times, when we say evangelism, a lot of people, and even just thinking about like your Christian life as a whole, I think people don't really understand the true intimacy you need to have, and the fact that you have to be, a lot of times, especially if you grew up in a Christian household and you just used to follow your parents to church, that kind of thing, it becomes like a routine. Yeah. Every Sunday morning, we have to go to church. We have to do this, we have to do that. And then I say evangelism, it's like, oh, if you're a Christian, you have to be evangelizing. And you're like, let them not say, I did not go and evangelize. Let them, who is the them? Let them not say. So I think when Jesus was giving like the Great Commission, he was very intentional about the things he was saying and the words he was saying. So this is Matthew 28. So let's start from 18 to 20. And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all the things I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. So that part that says teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. How do you know what Jesus has commanded if you don't read your Bible? Yeah. How do you know what Jesus has, like, how do you teach another person if you don't know it yourself, right? So I feel like there's a place of like obedience, number one. There's a place of trusting in what God has said already. And there's a place of like you yourself intimacy, very, very true. Yep. So all of those things around, it just tells you that even whatever it is, wherever you're taking it to, when Jesus turned water to wine, the wine was the best wine. Yep. During the wedding, and he says, you saved the best. People usually give the best wine at the beginning of the wedding, but why did you save the best wine for the end of the wedding? It means that in whatever it is that you see the hand of God in, is always excellent. So you cannot now say because you are making Christian one thing. I was confused. Do I clock it or should I do this? Whatever at this point, I don't even know which one it is. There was a time when we used to do spoken word poetry. I don't even know which one it is, but now they've changed. So like, if you don't have any sense of excellence in there, like, you're not just going to go off, oh, it's Christian, you need to buy it. Like, people might, like she said, people might buy it the first time, like, let's not be like, we did not buy from Sister Kiniko. But now next time, like, come and patronize, like, it's okay, I patronized you before. There's something that my pastor says. He says that, you know how in Redeem, they say, oh, bro, anybody you meet, like, oh, Sister Ebun, bro, this thing. And I said, let me not go to your workplace one day and say I'm looking for Sister Ebun. Obviously, I'm thinking this is like more like in the Nigerian sense because people will understand Sister Ebun. It's like, let me not go to your workplace one day and say I'm looking for Sister Ebun. You're like, Sister Ebun, who is that? Like, she's a Christian. That kind of thing. Like, let's not be like, it's so, like, it's such a different personality from you. So,
yeah. I was going to say something. I think I just blanked out a little bit. But yeah, I was going to say that, what was I going to say actually? There was something that you said that struck something in me. What was that last thing that you said?
With, intimacy.
Oh, I know what I was going to say now. I'll come back to this. I'll probably cut and join one way or the other. But I was going to say that I don't want to say it's a cultural thing. but it's not a cultural thing. I think it's a personality thing. But there's something I really learned here in America. I've learned a lot of things too here because like our cultures are so different. So I'm like,
very, very different.
take the best of both cultures.
Yeah.
Now, I attend a Victory Church, and I think there were some pastors that were leaving. They were supposed to. They started the church this year. Started the church either in January or February, and they announced that they're going to start the church last year, January. That was when the information came out that they're going to start a church. And then the senior pastor was the one giving them the exits, like announcing them that, oh, these people have been really good. Which, first of all, where I come from, we are still at the level that we are making reaction videos of other people's pastors. So that's something new to me, because a lot of times people leave burning bridges, they fight, and then they go and start their own church. Yeah. But this one, you could see that there was a release. Right. And then something now entered my head, like, or let me just say, the Holy Spirit was ministering to me that God has given. It was not that January that they announced that they knew that they're going to start a church. Of course. So they must have been having that conversation for like months or maybe even years.
Possibly.
Now they have been planning. God gave them a vision. They have been planning for that vision since, let's say, a year before, they now announced. It took them another year before they now started. So let's just say that, maybe they've been praying before and everything for that whole year. Now it took them another year to actually have plans in place. They did not just wake up one morning and say, let's start. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not every vision that takes a year. There are some that you just need to start. But what I'm trying to take from this is the power of planning and strategy. When you have a vision, is very important. Don't just do things because we just have to do it. And then you just do it haphazardly. That's another thing that I learned. I'm like, there's a place of getting the vision. There's a place of praying for resources. There's a place of receiving resources. There's a place of planning with the resources. There's a place of strategy, so that at the end of the day, whatever your output is going to be excellent. Like I said, somebody can call this now and say, she says that you have to wait a year. No, there are certain things that if it doesn't need a lot of infrastructure or capital, just start. If you need to get a a microphone and talk about Christ, just do it. Like, you don't need a lot of that. But if you are maybe creating a product or like doing something tangible that people need to come to you to buy, or like a service that you're rendering, please don't do it haphazardly because God said. Like, do it with excellence. Plan, strategize, talk to people, leverage the resources you have, but don't just do it because you just want to do it. Whatsoever your hand finds to do it with your might, even if it is the things of God, is what I'm saying. So that was one thing that, and that's why I said it's not cultural, because I know that, when you want to start a church, where I'm coming from, like, and even, I'm sure even some people here as well, as long as you could be an uncompleted building and you have a megaphone and then you start. Maybe there's a different audience for that, maybe. But
so, two things that come to mind from like the example you gave, and which is scriptural, right? When we even think about the ministry of Jesus, Jesus was God from the beginning, like even from the moment he was born. But he did not start his ministry until he was 30 years old. Why? We can take a look at, like, we can think about it and like meditate on why he did that.
Even after he did, he went through scouting for resources, which is like the disciples. Even after he got the disciples, we remember that even the first miracle that God did, which was like Jesus turning water to wine, he still had his disciples. And even at that time, he was like, my time has not yet come.
And even beyond that, even with the baptism, like the baptism of water with John the Baptist, and John the Baptist was like, you are greater than me, and Jesus was like, it has to be fulfilled. There is that one. So that's like one aspect, like the life of Jesus. When we now think about God from like creation, God is the author and finisher of our faith. Like, he knows the end of the thing from the beginning. Even when he knew that man was going to fall, God is a planner. Because it took God, Adam and Eve, all the way down to Jesus, and Jesus like coming to be the fulfillment of the promises that he has for us, for like salvation to come to everybody. So imagine if God just, after Adam and Eve, maybe Cain and Abel is like, okay, you will come and die for every, like, that should tell you that God is a God of excellence. God is a God of strategy. God is a God of proper planning, process. He's principled, right? Is the God of the harvest. Is the God of seed time and harvest time. Like when you look at, and I think that was one of the good things about, there are certain churches that you go to that they have different, like, well, let's say ministries. But if you grow up in like Living Faith Winners, Papa is somebody who is very principled. Like he will tell you that the reason, like, for example, now prosperity, we know prosperity gospel is like, a lot of people like say a lot of things that are wrong and all of that. But because of the condition of like the economy in Nigeria, like anybody will run to prosperity gospel. But he will tell you things like, you can't, me and you now, you can't sow. And me, I'm looking now and say, oh, God has promised me that I'll be. It's not possible. Like, it is literally impossible, because there are principles that God has set from the beginning of time that even he himself will not break it for your behalf, right? So those are the things you have to think about. And looking at another thing again is like, you know how there's this thing that we used to say, like back home, like if you are going to church, you try and wear your Sunday best, like Sunday best, right? Like you will go out all out, you will dress up so that, because if you are dressing up to go for like normal regular things, like if you are going to the house of the Lord, you want to dress up and make sure that like, you are looking your best, right? So it should be the same. You should frame that thing with this. You should frame everything around you with the same context of, if I'm working and I'm diligent, I'm doing all of this, why is it that when God has given me a vision for this Christian wig brand or Christian lipstick brand, why am I doing it anyhow?
So before you slap Christian at the back of anything, please make sure that it's actually repping God. I beg. Because if we look at the Bible very well, you know how you can never finish the Bible. Like you can never know everything. Like what you get, the inspiration that you get now is the inspiration that you get tomorrow. I remember I was reading Moses' story again in the Bible and the Israelites, and the Holy Spirit was just telling me that the first thing that happened with Moses was, Moses, he killed somebody, he ran away, God had to work on him, whatever. And then after that, God gave him a vision. Everything that God told him, if you go and read the burning bush, everything that God told him in the burning bush was something that happened 430 years later. Not even everything happened 430 years later. Some, at the end of it, they led to Christ. God gave Moses that in the burning bush. Burning bush was the beginning of Moses' career as a pastor or a prophet. Then he now took them, he had to take them through the process of do this. And if you look at everything that God did and everything that God took Moses through, if you look at even from the burning bush where he was like, throw your rod down, what did he become a snake? Now hold it back. When Moses went to the other guys, his snake swallowed every other snake. Say, who born you? After that, even fast forward to when they were building the temple, God gave him specifics. He was like, use gold, use scarlet, don't use steel, don't use metal. Like God doesn't do mediocre. And you read the book of Leviticus and Deuteronomy, you're like, you are sleeping, but God is giving details. God is very particular about details. So I think a lot of times when God gives us vision, and I'm talking about myself, you and everybody, when God gives us vision, we need to stay. We need to stay and keep getting guidance for that vision, because it's going to take you through different process. And trust me, like I said, God does not like mediocrity. So God is not just saying, oh, just go and start. Like God is telling you go and start, but he's giving you guidance on how to start. So God is never mediocre. God is like, this should be something qubits by this something qubits, use gold, use this, that. There's a whole lot of things that I've learned from that, of course, but like that part of, if it's mediocrity, is not God. God can give you a vision, but make sure that you are staying in it to follow the process that God is giving you. If God told you, I will rescue the children of Israel through you, how did he do it? You know, when it got to when they were in Egypt, how did he do it? You know, when they went to Pharaoh, how did he do it? When they were building tabernacles, how did he do it? Like everything that God did for them, it wasn't just, let's just do it. There was thought into it. There was a process. There was excellence in it. So, Selah.
Selah, truly, you don't finish work. But really great point. And I think one other thing that you mentioned, I think you mentioned it in passing, right? There is also, you mentioned like preparation. I think even when God tells you, like for the example of maybe you don't need to wait a year and God is telling you to start immediately. A lot of times when you look back, you realize that everything you've been doing up until that point has been preparing for where God wants to take you to. So if you think about the story of this, the pastors, the ministers in Victory Church, right? They're going to go and start a church. And again, it might not be the same members or anything, but I don't say there is nothing they're not going to see that they've not probably seen already.
Yeah.
In the time that they've spent in victory, even in any church, like they would have already seen, okay, this is the wisest way to handle this.
Yeah.
This is how we handled it, that it didn't turn out well, this is the best, things like that. So anything at that point you are where God is giving you a vision and is telling you, okay, go ahead, step into it, right? When you look back, you realize that God had prepared you.
Yeah.
You just didn't know how.
Yeah.
But it's when you are now facing those same situations or reality, you are now like, no, God was holding my hand.
Yep.
God was teaching me what to do so that when I'm faced with the same exact thing in a different manner, I know how to handle it. Right?
Yep.
And another scripture that we can give here again is he that is faithful in little things be faithful in much.
Right? Yeah.
He that is faithful in little things will be faithful in much. So in whatever capacity you are in now, whether it's like your own business, you're working for somebody, your own whatever, when you want to step to the next level, like if you are not faithful right now, it's not possible for you to be faithful when you're bigger.
Absolutely.
And I want to go into like the financial aspect of it. A lot of things they teach you when you are growing up as a child, tithing, offerings and things like that. But somewhere down the line, somehow, it might not happen for everybody, but it happened to me. Somehow around the line, you just fall off. Or me personally, I fell off. I was just like, the money I'm earning is not enough. Like I can't give tithes. And this happened to me, especially when I was in school, because it felt like bills choke. So, and he had to take me to, like, it took me to a place of, God just has to like teach you again, like you have to go back to God. And when I got that revelation again of, it's not as if I did not know, but when in a way you've had in your heart, like you just flash it like God understands. God understands. Yeah, God understands, but you yourself, do you understand? Right? So I realized that, okay, at that moment, how much was I earning? I was earning compared to now, I was earning very little, and it just felt like bills were too tight, everything. I wasn't tithing. So later, as I was like, going back and everything, it just kept on coming up that you have to tithe. You have to tithe, like you have to give back to God. And it felt like such a heavy, because at that point now, I was now working full time every day. And it's not like, hey, if you could not give $10,
you can't give
$10,000. You can't give 1 million. You can. Because it looks very small, like, okay, you are earning $1,000 now and you have to give $100. That's 10%. The minute you start earning $100,000, $10,000 will be crazy to you. Now imagine you're earning 1 million. There's no way you will give $100,000. So, that heart posture, that mindset, like you have to shift and just go to God, trust Him, trust that He has the best in mind for you.
Absolutely.
If you're not tithing, go back to God.
That's the summary of it. It's like you have to keep going back. It's a journey. It's not, we are all continually working towards, you are always working towards perfection. Like you're always in the process. So it's like you have to keep going back to God. So it's not like, everybody, a lot of people, we're all trying to figure it out, but figure it out with God, basically, because
figure it out with God.
Yeah, because like even this tithing thing, like I don't know, I was in a conversation, I can't remember when or where, but like if we go back to the children of Israel, and maybe because that's exactly where I am right now, it's like when God was giving them the instruction to tithe, He was basically providing everything for them. He was giving them manna, He was giving them rain for their crops. So He knew that even if you bring that money, there's still provision in me. So it's just a level of faith of saying that no matter how much it is that you earn, you always trust that there's a provision in God. So it's a form of faith as well. It's a form of faith. It's like,
and I think it takes you to a higher level, or it takes you to a deeper level in your work with God, because when you realize that. So I think the prayer I usually pray when I'm praying about like finances or like financial anything is like, God, and I don't know, I think I heard it from a sermon in Victory. I think I need to go back. There was a time where they were talking about money. There were like 3 series of they were talking about money and how people give back to God. So anytime I pray, I'm always like, God, thank you for, when I'm praying for my jobs, or I'm like praying for like anything related to work, I'm like, thank you for giving me this job as an avenue of like provision. Like, it's you that gave me this job, and this job is just serving as my means of provision now. So regardless of if I have this job or not, I know that another means of provision will come. So it's very easy for you to hold tight and say, this is. So I feel like that way you let loose of certain things. So even when things happen, like when it's like things are not looking right, in a way you already know that it's not this job, like, okay, physically, like, it's the job that is depositing money in your account. But you know that spiritually, it's God that is orchestrating things in such a way that you are provided for. Because even when you don't have a job, or when you didn't have a job, or even in the time when I was earning what I was earning, that I felt like, I could not give to God, God was still providing. And I still had more than enough.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've said a lot of things actually. And I think this particular conversation have been obviously off track of what we thought we were going to talk about. But I hope that it encourages somebody. I hope that it gets you go, even if it gets you going back to the word to say, what does the Bible even say about this? Even if it gets you going back to God to say, please give me the power, the strength to do this, to go back to you, you know, even if it gets you praying about your business, praying about your work and asking God for the spirit of excellence, even if it gets you going back to God for guidance on, you know, your life itself, you know, I think it's pretty much worth it. And I was just saying before, like, that I'm really, really proud of, like, my circle of friends and where we are right now. And I'm grateful that we are all growing together in God. Like, now, like, it's so funny, when I'm having conversations with my friend, there's no way we will not talk about God. This is what God told me. And a lot of times it's always like, there's always a confirmation. I remember I was telling Tinsha about something that has been on my mind, and then the next day she saw a post on Instagram and she sent it to me. She was like, confirmation. And I've had that this week. I've had friends tell me dreams about me that are like confirmations, and I'm like, this is exactly what I want. In fact, I feel like we are past the level of course, I'm not saying that every time you make calls, like, of course, like, you talk about like life, we talk about the wigs I want to buy, we talk about the recent outfit that we bought, we talk about that, but at the core of it, we've had moments of encouragement, we've had moments of lifting each other up, we've had moments of, like, you know, going back again to the words, studying scriptures together. I remember Kemi this week, she sent me something that she has been doing recently. Like, she just sent me, she was like, God was telling her to, she noted the point to think about what she's listening to, what she says. Like, there's a number of things on that. So I remember I woke up one day and I saw a very, very long message from her about how, like, some of the things that God was really revealing to her about herself. And then was talking about, like, strictly on what she listens to. And I read some of those things and I'm like, this is so true. Like, in the context of what you consume, you know, we've talked about what we give out, but of course, like, what you also give in, you know, we've talked about how everything is an influence now, whether you like it or not. So what you hear people say, whether you like it or not, is an influence. I know people will say, a lot of people will disagree, but
whether you disagree or not, it's the truth.
That is the truth. It's the truth.
Right?
And, you know, she talked about, like, some of the movies that she saw, and, you know, in fact, she was talked about how she was like, she's starting to trace patterns. It's like, when I watch these things, do I feel a certain way? It's like, the moment I'm not feeling too good, let me trace it back to what happened before I wasn't feeling too good. Did I see something on social media that made me think about my life? And I was like, wow, like, this is so deep, because these days we just live our lives, but everything is bringing chemicals into our body. Sometimes it's dopamine, and then you're like excited, and you're like, sometimes it's also chemicals of sadness, of like, so it's just like, that's just one of the things, right? But it's just, I'm like, I'm getting so much value from these conversations than, you know, just like, but of course we'll bant, we'll definitely bant and everything, but there's also moment of motivation, moment of, like, you know, helping each other. Those are the kind of conversations I want to have now. Like, sometimes, in fact, it's even worse for me now, because sometimes I sit with people that I'm not so used to, and they start saying, of course, like, when I'm at work, but like, when I'm having, like, conversations and, like, you know, relaxing in a social circle, and you start talking about certain things, and I'm like, okay, but so what? Like, so
where
what?
do we go from here? Okay.
Like, okay, cool. Like,
it's like, okay, cool.
Like, I mean, I will give you my opinion, but, like, sometimes I'm just, like, quiet, and it's not like I'm a quiet person normally, but I'm like, okay, like, okay.
So what should I do with this now? Like, where should we go from here?
So I don't know if it also comes to, like, age. Maybe, like, the more you grow, the more some things that you see, some things that you experience.
I think so.
And then you, like, you know, start to, like, encourage each other. I think it's this phase of life as well. Everybody's trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I feel like we are also experiencing time more now. I think we talked about it earlier. About how we feel. You were saying that one second is no longer 1 second. Every 1 hour is no longer 1 second. So I feel like we experience time and we see how it's passing.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody I was talking to, because I think after we had that conversation, I was I was even telling my dad, say, my dad was like, but sometimes he just wakes up and he's like, the week has ended.
Yeah.
Like, so, and he's much older, right? So imagine if we are feeling like this at our age, like how much our parents are feeling the time passing by so quickly. And I remember I was telling somebody else, and the person was saying that, you know, right now, because we're at work, like your life is scheduled. Like, you know, 8 to 9, this. So it's very, you can see the time passing very
flying
quickly.
by so fast.
So it's when you're a child or when you are younger, like you have no understanding of time. You just know that, they drop you in school, they come and pick you. You're going for, so you don't feel it, right? So I feel we value our time more, especially when you are even in this, as we are older, as we're in this country, because time is very valuable here, right? So because you value your time, or you're like, okay, what kind of conversation should I be having with my time? Like, is this something that is beneficial for me? Is this something that I want to spend my time on? Like, if we take a look at our weekends, like we are both working, for example, and a lot of people are working, right? And if you have a typical 9 to 5 job, you are working Monday to Fridays. So you have your weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and a lot of us, we go to church on Sundays. And you can say, depending on the kind of church you go to, at least half of your day is spent in church. So you only have your Saturday and maybe later part of your Sunday. So what are you going to do that day? So if you don't do it, you will pick the most high value thing, like, I can spend time with talking to friends, or I can spend time sleeping or staying in my house or doing laundry. Like, you pick and choose and you prioritize what you want to do. So I think it's the same thing with conversations and with, like, even friendship. Like, this is not valuable to me. So somehow you just withdraw.
Yeah, I think we also have more responsibilities now than we did before. So now, when they say issues of life, it's not that issues of life is hitting a lot of people. Before, like, you don't have to worry about a lot of things. Like, I think I was with Banker last week and we were talking about, when we're in St. Anne's. You know, those days there was little that you think about aside like schoolwork.
What are you even thinking about?
It's basically schoolwork and maybe leadership roles in church and stuff. So like what you're thinking about at that point is limited. But now that you have more responsibilities, you're thinking of, you're buying air fryer, you're buying juicer, like life is hitting you now. You're thinking of the future, like future. This is the time now. So anything that you can get to encourage you, to uplift you, to basically just make it easier for you. It could be that somebody has done maybe what you're doing now, or it could be that you have the vision for something, and then the first set of people that you look at is people around you, and then you're just looking for people that can say, let's do this together. Like, what help do you need? Like, what, so those are more meaningful conversations than when you just sit down and then you're saying not. And again, like, and don't get me wrong, again, there's also the place of, like, this outfit is nice, what do you think? There's a place of that as well. But like,
it's not the
that's not everything that you talk about. Everything that you talk about is not, this person last week, like, I saw this person last week, she was wearing red and blue. Can you imagine? She does not even know how to. I'm like, okay, cool, so it's now more productive
conversations. And even when you think about, like, imagine me having an issue and I'm bringing it to you, and I'm like, Ebun, this happened to me at work, can you imagine this person said this to me? And you're like, sorry, but there's this wig I want to buy. If you see, so that's kind of thing, be like, or you can't give me anything that will speak life into me, or anything that will tell me that, okay, you know what, this is how you should do it, maybe you should do it like this. Like, if you're not having that kind of conversation, because are you helping me? Like, so what's the point of the conversation? What's the point? So that way I'll just categorize in my head that this one, if you have something that is going through your life, don't tell her it's weak, she'll be talking to you about. So that's how you just distance and you move yourself. And it just reminds me of there's something that Apostle Selman said one time. He said that if you look around you look at your friends and you count them and you see that there are 5 fools.
You are the sixth one.
You are around me, there are 6. So
it's so true. That's so true.
And another funny video again I saw, and this one I don't know if I agree with it, yes or no, but the girl was saying that she does not like meeting her friends' significant others, like boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, right? Because if she does not end up liking your significant other, it's not like, what don't I know about you? Because why are you liking this kind of person? I saw the post on TikTok. At first I laughed and I was like, well, so I was like, because comments and people are like, please, you didn't have to come this hard.
As in, that is just too deep.
Because she was like, what am I not seeing about you?
But what if you are the wrong one? What if you are the one that has the problem? what if you are the one not seeing the best for the person? What if you have an opinion that is shallow about significant others?
Well, that's another angle.
So that one is a little bit dicey.
It's also sometimes it's also valid when you look at someone and you're like, you may not like the person's boyfriend or you may not like the person's girlfriend.
The question is why. So
so I think she was talking about it more from like a fundamental value level system of like, maybe someone that will tell you that it's not you, go for it. Let's say this person now, you are dating this man, or this your friend is a guy, he's dating this girl, or let's use it that way. Your friend is a girl, she's dating this guy, and you're now having a one-on-one conversation with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend is not like, any small thing like this now, if I can, or the example we gave of like selling gossip, like nothing date, you're not like So I'm not like, so imagine that kind of person dating you now, and me, I know you, I know that you are private, and the person is like, I can sell anybody this for money. I'm like, hey. So in my head, I'll be like, and you're not that kind of person, but you're not the girlfriend that, as the person is talking, I'll be like doing. I'll be like, what don't I know? Is it that you've been lying to me all your life? Because what's the meaning of this?
Oh, I get the humor though. But yeah,
I was like, no, that one is too deep, sir. But yeah, definitely, if the people you surround yourself with, if you look at them and you're like, oh, you are the highest among them, sorry, you're in the wrong gathering. You are also a fool.
Yeah.
So
it's very important. Well, the summary of it is be the best version of yourself for your friends, and for yourself, for your friends, for everybody around you. Like
excellent in everything.
Because I know that when people talk now, you'll be thinking about this is my friend. That's true. She has been doing this. She has been saying, you yourself, uncle. What of you yourself? What kind of value have you been adding to your friends? What kind of value have you been praying for your friends? Have you been like, oh, God told me this thing? Like, oh, are you like, what's happening? Like, talk to me. Like, have you been that person? Have you been a pillar, for the people around you? Have you checked up on your friends recently? In all sincerity, not just how far? There's this thing that just came out.
It's only when you want to get gist, or it's only when you want to
that you're ahead.
You're not reaching out to them.
So before you start pointing finger to other people, just check in first inwardly and be like,
stop.
It's like, what do I need to see about myself? So again, like I said, like, see, there are different phases of, like, there are times that you need to laugh. For instance, like last week now, I have been ranting since on I just finished Love is Blind. Myself, Ogochuku, and Kachi. We've been in fact, we said that next year for Love is Blind, we'll form a rant group. That we'll just be like, we'll just watch one episode and just rant. Like, we've been exchanging voice notes. Like, in fact, there's some voice that when I check, I was just laughing last week. There was one word that actually said short leprechaun. I just started laughing. I said Kai, and obviously the whole point of Love is Blind is to rage bait you anyway. So that's the whole point. So there's no way you watch it and you will not be like. No. So I watched one because he saw it last week, so he already knows what's going to happen. So I watched one episode. I will rant. So I say, don't worry, wait first. He will say, wait first. He say, you're just getting started, and then he will give me his own point of view of the thing. The same thing with Ogochuku. Like, I think it was even midnight. Like, she just saw my post and she responded, and we also started talking and chatting about it. So there's always a place of that, right? But as much as possible, that's not all that life is about. There are deeper things. There are deeper things in life than just ranting and gossiping and
song
stuff.
Recommendation: Deeper by T.Y. Bello. Very nice song.
Nice.
So
I think we've said a lot for this particular episode. So
we hope that you've been blessed.
Yeah.
Do we even want to give any today's dose? I feel like everything we've been saying,
we've
giving doses. We've overdosed you people.
Overdose. But this overdose they kill.
I mean, it brings life. Life. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in.
Yeah.
I hope you're really enjoying our video content.
Yeah.
Excited that.
Do you guys see? Now we are
we said we're gonna do it,
and we're doing
and
it.
We're here.
We're making video content. I'm so proud of us.
Yes. Excited. I hope you guys are excited about video content. I hope you guys are looking forward to more new episodes.
Yep.
Don't forget, episodes are going to be dropping bi-weekly every Thursday.
Yep.
So look out, stay tuned, and also don't forget to engage with our content on social media.
So don't mind the mom that says they comment too. Please.
Me, I was talking specifically about Twitter.
Please comment and engage. Let's know what trend that you find challenging or that you want to stop. Let's know what you think about everything that we said. Let's know what part resonates with you the most. And if you're listening on either Spotify or Apple or other podcast platforms, we just want to announce that we now have video content on YouTube. So it's the same thing. It's just that you get to see our reactions. You get to see our beautiful faces. Yeah. We can't sit on the couch anymore and look as we like and do as we like, right?
Those were the days.
Those were good days, man.
If we were doing in the house, we would have done like 5 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is good.
Because it takes
like
a lot to set up stuff, but yeah.
Forward
ever, backward never.
We're improving small.
Clock it.
So thank you guys so much. We're excited for what this year has to offer for the podcast. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for giving us a big welcome back.
Yeah.
We saw you guys engage in our posts. So really excited.
We came back with the guests. Okay. We came with a guest, so we'll have more guests this year.
More interesting conversations are coming up. So thank you guys. Look forward to Tough Talks on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.